Making a music video can be pretty difficult and scary, especially if it's your first time, you're given a tight schedule, as well as not the highest budget there is out there for music videos. So in this video, I like to break down how I overcame challenges, as well as how it went for my first time shooting a music video. Before getting started, I'd just like to give a little bit of background for how I got this job and how it all just began. The person I made this music video for, her name is Colleen McKenna. She's a friend of mine who I met through mutual friends. So at a venue that I was taking videos for something called Battle of the Bands, and she was singing there. On one of the times that she was done and came down from stage and was just chatting with our friends, she just mentioned to me and asked if I would like to shoot a music video with her, especially since I was starting to get into the business of videography and filmmaking. Weeks or maybe a month later, around May of this year, I get a DM from her asking if I wanted to follow through with that. So now we're gonna jump into the pre-production where I can just show you how I prepared for this shoot. So pre-production, in my opinion, is huge. It is very important, very crucial. It really allows you to go throughout the days that you plan on shooting on to allow them to go a lot more smoothly and effectively, in order you to not really waste time or actually go in with an idea of what you're looking for. So you're not really wasting time in figuring out what to do, what to set up, and what to shoot. With that said though, this was my first time around actually doing a proper pre-production where I actually use Milanote. It allows you to really bring in screenshots and examples and pair them with descriptions and words in order to really describe, but then also show what you are looking for. So here I'm showing you guys right now where we kind of have like the gist of what the music video is going to look like. We have up here in the top left corner just the video concept, basically a voice memo from the client of what she's looking for and her vision for the music video. Then we got the song down here. So what I did, since I think a lot of videographers should do this whenever they're shooting for a music video, is to really get familiar with the song in order to really kind of picture and imagine the music video in your head before you even start. So I would play that song actually multiple times a day while I was driving, while I was in my house, just kind of literally do everything listening to it so I can actually imagine myself in a music video, so it allows me to really think of what we're looking for. Within the video concept as well, she gave me a lot of ideas and examples. So the biggest inspiration and music video that already exists that we kind of based ours off of was the Corey Asbury song Kind. And he had a great music video, and it was the one that we both were like, yes, this is the one that we really want it to look like. The colors, the story, the narrative behind it, just like how it was structured. So I kind of based the mood off of it. Now this is kind of a lot more minimal than what I usually would put on now, but this was, again, my first time around ever doing a mood board or storyboard. So it's pretty short, it's pretty small, it's not much. Besides that, this is the shot list. So we're gonna focus here on scene 1. Or actually we're just gonna zoom in, but here you can just see how I'm kind of just giving myself an idea of what I'm looking for, like the shots, the angles, where the subject will be positioned. Give myself a very vague and broad description of it, since I am a one-man team and I can't really focus so much on too many details, given also it was a tight schedule. It was quick turnaround. I literally was done with finals. I moved out of my old apartment at that point, and then I was home and cleaning things up and then getting ready for the shoot. And the thing is, as a college student, as a student in general, you're just fighting with time and other priorities, and it was just kind of a battle of just finding time and balancing everything. However, it worked out. It got done, and I think it got done in a pretty efficient and well done way. A lot of these shots are screenshots of just that music video Kind by Corey Asbury, and then a couple shots here from the internet. You'll see this. It's this was from the internet. This was from another music video I watched. This was like internet. This is from another music video, I'm pretty sure by, it was like Ophelia by the Lumineers or something like that. And then you'll see a couple that I just did not fill in. It's okay if you don't get every single individual shot. Like literally here on this scene, scene 3, I didn't have any shots really planned out just because we weren't really sure. I called and set up a time to meet with my client again to really run through this. And I just kind of put scene 3 as an idea to just kind of like pitch the idea, see if she wanted to go further with it. But we just ended up kind of winging that scene since I already had that scene kind of planned out in my head. And it's a lot easier if it's a one-man job to just plan it out in your head. But if you're working with a team, I suggest having everything as detailed as possible, so then when others are looking at it, they're on the same track as you. This is really just to give you a way to prepare yourself for the shoot, so you're not going in there empty-handed, allowing you to really just understand what you're looking for. Something I really wanted to touch up too about lights and equipment that I did not touch up on earlier is that this was pretty much on a tight budget. Not only because of the payment, but then also just in general, like the equipment I had. I did not have any lights before this shoot, so I was kind of looking for some good lights to just buy and own. And I found these 2 dome lights off of Amazon for like about $200. Both of them have already soft boxes on it, diffusion, they have a grid on it, have the light itself, and stands. So I was able to get 2 of those for just around $200, and yet I was able to make an entire video. So this just comes to show there's really no excuse. If you just have a little bit of money to invest and you really want to bring up that production value just a tad bit more, you really just need to do a little bit of research. Just kind of look it up, scroll a little bit, and I found these 2 dome lights. Yes, they're not the most high quality equipment there is out there for dome lights. However, it's enough to get the job done. And here's already like an exhibit of how well it works. So given that, I was able to shoot an entire narrative with really just 2 dome lights, 1 small LED light, and 1 camera. Nothing really too fancy, but enough to get the job done. Here on this first shot, this was in the intro of the video where we are basically having the client / talent receiving bad news over the phone. So here I really wanted to portray the vulnerability and the grief of the loss. So we kind of had the camera at a taller angle, at a higher angle, shooting down towards her, kind of making the environment look a little bit bigger than her, kind of showing like her problems are a little bit bigger. Breaking down the lighting now. So here we have the window. The window here itself is kind of our motivated light, kind of allowing the viewer to see, okay, that's where the light is coming from, which naturally is where our mind is inclined to assume where the light is coming from. So here we have the light coming from the window, allowing to illuminate a little bit of the background here. However, I wanted to wrap that light around our subject here. So I had one of the dome lights here placed a little bit closer and a little bit more further down the counter, allowing us to really have the left side of her face get lit up a little bit too, as well as get the rest of the right side of her face lit up as well. Sorry, excuse my bad drawing, but so in this shot we wanted to really express the empty space. So in order to visually tell that story, I used this sofa chair that they were perfectly in front of this window, allowing us to use this window as backlighting and allowing us to use this empty chair as foreground, giving us that depth of field, allowing us to really show like the empty space, how like it hurt to not have this person here at that moment. So here what we did for lighting was really not much, and all we did here was really turn on this lamp and as well as just use a lot of the natural light, the motivated light that's coming in through the window. However, I wanted to have the light wrap a little bit more around her face. So here we have the motivated light from the window and then from the lamp, which is lighting up this side of her face right here. So this half is pretty much shined or lit by the motivated light and the practical light already. However, with the light that was right behind me, I just had a dome light basically shine over my head, over my shoulder, allowing us to kind of get the rest of our talent's face here, allowing us to get this side, a little more of her forehead, and also as well as like the rest of her body. One of the other shots I really enjoyed shooting was this shot, this really tight angle of basically our client or our talent here in the bathroom, basically getting ready to kind of go out, kind of like move on from whatever it is that she's grieving. However, she finds herself kind of remembering and kind of relapsing back to that grief, to that sorrow. Another interesting scenario we had here was we didn't have much space. We had a hallway, and then immediately right after we had the bathroom kind of shoot in. And within the bathroom, you really didn't have much space to work with. So we kind of just saw this opportunity of shooting through the doorway, this angle that was perfectly in line with the mirror. However, the other problem is we didn't have any motivated light. Literally, like, it looks like there's a window here, but there's not. There's no window, there's no motivated light, nor would you really know because it's out of frame at this point. And all there was a shower. So what we did was just basically take one of those dome lights and just cram it in there in the shower, warmed it up a little bit, and allowed me to kind of give off that backlight to kind of show that there's some kind of motivated light there, whether it's a window, whether it's a light. However, the overhead light was just too harsh. It was kind of causing too harsh of shadows. It just looked like she was being interrogated. So what I did was just shove that dome light there into the shower, and then in order to wrap around that light in the room, I basically put a little LED light down, which was right there actually on the toilet. Took one of the extra diffusion panels I had and then kind of draped over it in order to diffuse the light a little bit more, in order to light up the rest of her face. So as we know, the bigger the dome light, the bigger the light, the softer it is. So the soft lighting that we have here is mostly coming from a dome light that's kind of just parallel to our subject, kind of eye level. That is giving us most of the light. Now down here, it's like this little light that we have. It's kind of angled a little bit from the bottom up. It's giving us a little bit more light that wraps around our talent's face a little bit more to really see the expression that's going on her face. However, I did notice that a lot of the light was kind of bouncing off on this wall that was on the in the hallway, and the wall is a little bit bright, so it kind of bounced it off and just kind of flattened the image a little bit. So what I did was just basically tape up some negative fill on the wall right here, allowing us to kind of give us extra contrast on her face, allowing us to really bring in that depth of field on the talent's face and into the shot in general. So that's all I have for today. I hope that you guys were able to learn something from this, at least for those who are starting out and a little bit scared in doing their first music video or their first narrative film in general. It looks a little bit scary at first. However, if you do the work, you do what you're supposed to do, it all will be fine. And I say that because a lot of people on YouTube say the same thing, and I'm just gonna kind of add on to that. It'd be another like push of hope for those who are starting out, or even if you're advanced and you're already pretty far into this industry. I hope that you guys have learned something from this too. But yeah, that's all I have for now, and I'll just see you guys in the next one.